The Washington Commanders signed defensive end slash defensive tackle DeMarcus Walker to the practice squad. Who is this guy? Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Everything Commanders with your host, Dream Team Buddha. Hail to the Commanders.
What's good, Commanders family? Welcome to another episode of Everything Commanders. Of course, I am your host, Dream Team Buddha. Just got the notification across my timeline. I was looking at my phone. I got a notification to my phone as usual. This is pretty much a solid move. I have not seen the team posted yet, but Nikki Giabala, she's one of the Commanders beat reporters. I trust her, and I believe it's so. She writes, let's get to that right quick. She writes, the Washington Commanders add a pass rusher to the practice squad. Walker is a former second-round pick by the Denver Broncos. His sports group, who he just signed with, said, we're proud to represent DeMarcus Walker as he begins his next chapter with the Washington Commanders. Now, this is coming from Nikki Giabala on X. This is pretty much, some help. And also to throw on top of that, Walker traveled to Madrid, so he could be a possible elevation for the Washington Commanders game on Sunday. Now, I know some of you are probably like, well, who is this guy? Okay. DeMarcus Walker is a 6'4" guy. Well, first of all, let's state the obvious. He's a vet. And I know you all probably sick of vets. Hell, I'm sick of vets as well. But at this time in the season, we definitely need help as far as like along the defensive line, especially when you got your linemen swinging on people and stuff like that. So this is pretty much like an emergency thing. He did travel with the team. But let's get into DeMarcus Walker and who he is and, a little bit about him. So he's a defensive end slash defensive tackle. He kind of reminds me of Deatrick Wise. I'm not saying he's Deatrick Wise, but if you go look at the tape, you will see what I'm talking about. He's 6'4", 280 pounds. He came into the league back in 2017. Now, he started his career. He was the second round pick by the Denver Broncos. And for whatever reason, he played there with them for a little bit for 4 seasons, and they didn't sign him back for whatever reason. His first season, he had 1 sack. Second season, same thing. Third season, he got 4 sacks. And then he got 4.5 sacks in 2020. And my guess would be, the numbers just wasn't right. The team probably didn't want to pay him. He only had 2 sacks his first 2 seasons. And then he was, climbing up the ladder. He had 4 and 4.5. He probably thought he was worth a little bit of money. However, it didn't work out. They didn't re-sign him. And then he went to Houston, Texas on a 1-year deal. When he went to Houston, he only got 2 sacks. And he pretty much gambled and bet on himself, and it didn't work out. So he was starting to become a journeyman. Then he went to Tennessee, and this is when he had his best year, where he had 7 sacks for the Tennessee Titans, right? That 7 sacks got him a 2-year deal with the Chicago Bears. I think it was a bigger deal than that, but he played in Chicago for 2 years. He was pretty consistent over the last 2 years. No, he didn't get 7 sacks, but he did get 3.5 consistently for the last 2 years. And, it just ain't work out there. But he's got production. They say he got a high pressure rate. The guy has a high motor. And that's what I love about defensive ends and defensive tackles. If you're going to, be productive in this league along the defensive front, that's one thing I loved about Deatrick Wise. The man had a high motor. He reminded me of Ryan Kerrigan, the way Ryan Kerrigan used to get after the quarterback. No, he didn't win off a straight off jump, straight off snap. He wasn't the type that, may win right away. But with his effort and his hard work and consistency, you can get to the quarterback because a lot of quarterbacks like holding on to the ball. So he reminds me of this type of guy because he has a high motor. And I think that this possibly could mean something for the Washington Commanders. However, they only signed him to the practice squad the same way they did with all the recent signings, Traylon Burks, Robbie chose in, and so forth and so on. They sign him to the practice squad, then they bring him in, and because we hurt, you already know we down a lot of bodies, so they bring him in, and it's a possibility we could see him this Sunday's game versus the Miami Dolphins in Madrid. He's pretty much like an emergency because we just signed him, whatever the case would be. So as far as the signing itself, I think it's a possibility that he could be something. Now, this guy was, like I said, he was a second-round pick for the Denver Broncos, and he pretty was consistent. He's pretty much consistent. He was better. He got better numbers than Jazon Newton, I would tell you that. And Eddie Goldman, I would tell you that as far as being a pass rusher. Now, is this the answer at pass rusher that we're looking for? No, I can't quite say that. Only way we're going to find that answer for our pass rushing deficiency is in the draft or some type of big-time signing this offseason or some type of trade this offseason that we're going to have to make because like we all know, Adam Peters going to definitely have to step into that briefcase, and he's going to have to dish some dollars out this year, and we're going to have to get some type of playmaker, whether it's a defensive end or, say, some top safety or corner or whatever case may be. We got to spend some money this offseason to help shore up that defense because I'm pretty sure Marshawn Lattimore won't be coming back next year, and along the defensive line, we already was short in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Deatrick Wise back to have another go to try to make things work along the defensive line because his season was cut short. But this guy right here, DeMarcus Walker, I like the way he looks on film. I've did my little scrub through, and I've been watching. This guy has a high motor, and I wish that I could show it on here so you guys can see what I see. So I want you to do me a favor. When we done with this video, I want you to go on YouTube and just check out his highlights. Check them out. They got highlights from Tennessee. They got highlights from Chicago. He was with Chicago for the last 2 years, right? But he got some money, so they looked at him as a cap casualty. So he didn't make it on a team type situation. They had to let him go. So now he's here in Washington. Well, actually, he's in Madrid with Washington, but he's on the practice squad, and it's a chance that he can get some viable reps throughout the season. It's just to see, and maybe, just maybe, he can he's deserving of a contract this offseason. We don't know. It's way too early to say that. We still got 7 games left to play. It's the same way with Traylon Burks. Same with him. He had a pretty much good game on Sunday, but he's injured. He won't be down there with the team. So we're just looking for bodies. We need bodies, availability along the defense and the offense, and we just signed DeMarcus Walker. Anyway, now that we got that out the way, it's a little something that I want to, first of all, if you just joining the stream, make sure you like the stream, make sure you share the stream, and good morning, good evening. We just hit noon, so good afternoon, should I say. Lil C White say, at this point, we should start talking about free agency and draft for next year. It's coming, bro. It's coming. Trust me. I don't want to jump the gun and, start getting that going, but I'm going to do a little bit of here and there, a little mock draft here and there because it's looking like we ain't winning, especially if we lose Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, for sure. We're going to be talking mock drafts. We're going to be talking all crazy. You know what I'm saying? Well, not so crazy because of where we are right now. Because if we fall to 3-8 on the season, it's pretty much over for us. But we will be talking all that soon, bro. I promise you. But anyway, it's something I wanted to talk about anyway since we on here. I wanted to break that news to you all. But really quickly, if we can, did you all watch the game last night? Did any of you all watch the game last night versus the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers? Did any one of you all watch that game last night? It was something that stuck out to me last night that I was a bit bitter in here watching the game. I actually went to sleep on the game because I got tired of watching it. I was jealous. And the only thing that I kept saying to myself is, I wish we had a defense like one of these two teams. Like, I wish we had a defense like one of the two teams that played last night. And I'm not saying that they got the best defense in the world. I'm just saying from our defense, what it's been so far, I wish we had a good defense that we could have on the field just like them. And I believe with the guys that we got, it's a possibility that it can happen. We are human. All these players got some dog in them. They made it to the NFL for a reason. But how can we get it out of them? Hopefully, with this Joe Witt Jr. taking over the defensive coordinator role and whatnot, it will help something. It will ignite something in these defensive players that we got on the roster. Because if you can't play football in the NFL, you don't need to be in the NFL. We see it all the time, countless of times, where people come and they play for the Commanders. We consider them banged up. We consider them trash. We consider them bust. And they go elsewhere, and guess what? They prove us wrong every time. So we got to be realistic when it comes to these players that's on the team. Yes, sure, Bobby Wagner lost a step. For sure. We got some old vets out there that maybe need to pack it up. For sure. I'm talking about the younger guys that's willing and able to play, like Jordan McGee. We got to let him get the bumps and bruises. We got to let him get hit upside his head a few times so he can know what not to do. I'm sure he learned from that play against the Lions where he called, hey, let me go ahead and check Jahmyr Gibbs, and he got spanked. He got roasted, burnt toasted coffee. I'm pretty sure he's going to learn from that, okay? It's tough to teach. It's hard to teach old dog new tricks. Okay, Bobby Wagner probably didn't even want no smoke from that anyway, right? We shall see how it's going to unfold now that Dan Quinn is calling the plays on defense. I think it will matter, but I don't think it's going to matter too much because just look at where the team is, where the morale is, the state that we in. It's going to take a miracle to bring this defense back to life. The defense is pretty much we planning a homegoing service for our defense as we speak. It's like they already pulled the cord. We got the time of death and everything because the defense pretty much finished. But hey, prove me wrong. Come Sunday, we might see a different defense. All of a sudden, they might snap out of it, and we might be back on track as far as defense. That's what it may be that, but of course. I'm being realistic now. I don't want to think way off I don't want to go far left when I know for a fact what you all been showing me. Yeah, I haven't been doing that. So what have you done for me lately? That's what I'm going off. I do think that these players on this defense, they are good. I just don't think they're playing together enough. And I don't think the scheme fits them well. So yeah, we shall see what that turn out. But I know last night for me, when I saw that game, I was ahead pissed off. I'm like, man, I wish we had a defense like this. Do you see what happened? The Eagles won the game 10-7. 10-7. Defense wins championships. This is why I can't get mad at the Eagles. This is why I can't get mad at the Eagles at all because, I don't like the Eagles for what they did to us in the NFC championship, but the Eagles got some defense, bro. Now, they doing what they doing because they got some star players over there. I ain't taking away. I'm talking about considering everything, factoring in everything. They just signed Jalen Phillips, and he was washed over there in Miami. I beg to differ. He was making plays last night. He was making plays in crucial moments last night. So that goes to show you it's all mental. Okay, what can these coaches get out of these players? Dan Quinn, he gotta dig deep. You've been talking about we're gonna dig deep and we're gonna fix it. We're gonna right these wrongs, and now it's on you to be the defensive coordinator. So you gotta dig deep in that bag of yours, and you gotta bring out that fire, that leader. Man, you gotta do something, bro. And I know we asking for a lot with a little, but I believe he can get it done. I expect small, minute improvements. I don't think it's going to be anything drastically like it's going to be night and day, but we shall see. Hopefully the play calling is cool. But let me get to these comments real quick because I ain't want to be on here too long. I just wanted to break that news to y'all. We did sign DeMarcus Walker to the practice squad. He's like a defensive end / defensive tackle, similar to Deatrick Wise. He's 6'4", 280. He got a high motor. He got a little speed with him. So I think he could be a good addition to this defensive front just to see, because right now we are in evaluation mode, even though Dan Quinn and them don't understand it. But right now, we pretty much there. And with them signing him, that means Drake Jackson is nowhere near ready to get out there on the field. Because, I mean, he was on IR, but at the end of the day, we signed him knowing he was hurt. All right. So he's pretty much healing up. I think he's going to be one of those situations where, though, we won't see him until closer to the end of the season. And just so he could, pretty much audition to see if he can get a deal to come back for and play with the Commanders or elsewhere next season. So we won't see Drake Jackson until later on down in the season, if anything at all. If they never bring him in the game, like he never activated, taken off IR, then there was a fail by AP. So we shall see what will take place as time goes on. But this guy right here, DeMarcus Walker, I think, we be wrong a lot, but I think he can actually help along the defensive line. He reminds me so much of Deatrick Wise. We shall see. And then in this funk that we're in right now, believe it or not, the players that we have on this team right now, they can't even be themselves right now because most of the guys aren't even used to being this pitiful on defense. When all goes wrong, when shit hits the fan, just think about it. It's been times in your life where you just sitting there like, I can't believe this shit happening. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's just like life. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I put my best foot forward. I work hard. But when it comes to playing on a team, when you got a group of people, everybody got to do their job. And being the man that they are, I know for me, the man I am, if I'm doing my job and it's not actually helping the team win, I'll start pressing. I'll start trying to do the next man's job. But you got to remind yourself, this is what coach is for, to remind yourself, hey, you don't got to do extra. Just focus on your job and expect the next man, trust the next man to do their job as well. But emotions running high. People don't believe in the scheme. People want answers. We ain't the only ones frustrated. They frustrated as well. So in this state, players, if they can just somehow become afloat and just rinse out all what's been going on, all of the bad play, the not communicating and the bad tackles and, letting your teammates down, and let's start fresh. Hopefully this Madrid trip will wake this team up. I don't think it will, but hopefully it does. But anyway, so let's get to these comments real quick, and then we will see what's good. Shout out to my guy TTBG. He said, we are always picking up some niggas leftovers. Ooh, I should have said that. Some triggers leftovers. Forgive me. We need fresh players, Mo. That's a fact. But do the fresh players want to be here? Do the fresh players want? If I'm AP right now, I'm looking at every practice squad out there. And that's not to say that they aren't. We don't know what operations is going on behind closed doors. Only thing we can go off is what's happening. We signed this older guy. He's 31 years old. At the end of his career, well, not the end of his career, but 9 times out of 10, you're a defensive end, defensive tackle. 34 years old. That's the lid. That's where you put the lid on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but you see Von Miller, he out there, he doing what he doing. So I guess it is what it is. But I get what you saying, bro. I feel the exact same way. Shout out to my guy, So Ninja X. What's going on, brother? He say Chase Young, 26, by the way. Yes, Chase Young is 26, by the way. I listen. I was one of the biggest Chase Young fans in the land, right? I actually personally interviewed this young man when I was behind the camera, and my friend of mine, I had him on a show a few shows back when we played Cowboys, and we interviewed Chase Young, and we've been to a few games when he played at the Mather or whatever the case may be, and we just knew that the young guy had potential. He went off to go to Ohio State, and he was a dog, right? But see, here's the thing. When the way DC is, and I'm not making no excuse for Chase Young, I'm just keeping it 100. The way the DMV is, when you play in the DMV, when you from the DMV, and people talking all types of crazy because you ain't had a good game or the injury-prone thing stick coming over your head, and it's difficult to play in your own hometown when you play in the DMV. It's difficult. I promise you, it's difficult. That's why I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe he need to go elsewhere. Maybe he need to go elsewhere where he could get into a better environment and he could actually have time to heal and grow and do whatever else the case may be. Now, granted, he did go to 49ers and he did ride with them to the playoffs or whatever. But with him being a Saint, he was hurt for the beginning of the year this year. But look at him now. He's doing pretty well. He had a couple sacks, I think 2 or 3 sacks already. He's doing pretty well. Emmanuel Forbes, he's doing pretty well. We spoke about him the other day. He got 2 picks back to back. Hell, Brian Robinson Jr. almost had 100 yards rushing on Sunday. Benjamin St. Juste over there catching picks. You listen, Jahan Dotson. Look at Jahan. He ain't get no catches last night. But when his name has been called, they quarterback just don't be doing what he's supposed to do. He's not a passing quarterback. But that's a whole nother situation. Not saying that he can't do it, but they just don't have that high power offense. They more of a burn the clock type situation. But anyway, I'm just saying the point I'm making is players are better than what we think they are on this roster. They go elsewhere, they rinse all the stench off from playing in Washington, and then boom, they finally get to show up. So I believe in some of these players. I'm not gonna give up on these guys this soon. Shout out to Ronell. What's going on, Ronell? He said, funny to me, they shine with all the jewelry and play like trash. Bro, it ain't just you, bro. It ain't. I noticed the same. The ones who got the flashiest jewelry be the trashiest. They spending a whole little check on that jewelry, okay? To be on the sideline, just so when the camera come by, you know, they looking good. If you pay close attention, you are right. You are spot on with that, bro. And I be saying that. My wife be like, dang, he got that big old chain. I be like, yeah, he got that chain on. He must be trash over there on the sideline. He want to look good on the sideline, not inside the lines. I don't know what's going on with that. Shout out to Marcus Connor. He writes, hopefully in the offseason, Adam Peters and Dan Quinn could find a good defensive coordinator. I'm with you. And I'm hoping that they ain't looking inside the roster. I mean, inside the staff. Hopefully they can look outside the staff. I listen. I know Joe Witt Jr. is Dan Quinn's guy or whatever. But if we bring in a new defensive coordinator, he's pretty much going to get rid of those guys. And he's going to have it. I'm pretty sure they're going to want to have his own staff. So it's going to be tough to see them go out and get another defensive coordinator. But I do know this. Dan Quinn do not want to be the defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. Okay? That was one of the things he wanted to shy away from his second tenure as a head coach. Because when he was in Atlanta, he said he felt like he had too many responsibilities. So he wanted to actually be able to hone in on being a coach and allow people that he could trust to actually take on those spots. So you got to think of it like this. Something got to give. I'm just hoping that they don't go within the staff that we have right now and try to promote somebody. I don't think we should do that. So we shall see. I mean, maybe it is somebody worthy out there. Who knows? But at this point, defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury can go to. I'm looking to see something different on offense. I was geeking for Cliff Kingsbury to come on back this year. That just happened, whatever case may be. But Cliff still has the same tendencies, bro. I'm more of a guy that like to be balanced on offense. Cliff Kingsbury, if he can, he want to get in the shootout. And we don't have the personnel for that at this current junction. So until I see him, wanting to run the ball a little more, stay a little bit more balanced, I mean, it's just I'm ready for something new. Get rid of both of the coordinators, if you ask me. Shoot. But anyway, shout out to TTBG. He writes, what do you say? Oh, they wanted to be there. They wanted to be here last year. That's when we should have did it. Yeah, for sure. Also, So Ninja X writes, what up, Buddha? AP is cooked. That's where I'm at. Trauma. Hey, man. It might be a little too early for that, bro. But I will say this. AP most definitely has let me down. I'm one of the main ones that scream, in AP we trust. I scream that from the top of my lungs to the top of my lungs. Like, I like AP. I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think he's one of the better GMs we had over the past 30 years, right? But at the same time, I'm a little disappointed too. I thought that we would, um, you know, but I'm a little disappointed because it's other moves he could have made once he's seen people start dropping like flies. That's where I'm disappointed at. I'm not disappointed at him trading for Laramie Tunsil and giving up a second and a fourth. I wish they could have been a second and fourth, like two different drafts. Like, so say for instance, we gave up the picks we gave last year, then we gave up a second this year or a fourth this year, and then whatever other pick the next season. But they probably wouldn't have budged for that because he was one of the best left tackles in the NFL. So I get it, but I'm just saying the moves were made this offseason. They didn't sign anybody of value as far as any dominant people. I know we was all on the T. Higgins train. We was all on the Myles Garrett train. Both of those guys stayed with their team. The Trey Hendrickson situation, they wanted the first. I thank God we didn't give up a first, because look where we are right now. Now, when the Trey Hendrickson situation was being put on the table, man, I was like, shoot, they got him locked up. They won't let him out. I was like, they need to let him go. He need to come on over here with us. I'm cool. We can give up a first round. We can get it because our first round will be at the end of the draft anyway. I don't care. We can give up that first round. Boy, oh boy, that first round draft pick this year is looking like the top 5 pick of the NFL. Right now, we currently sit 7th or 8th, I believe. And no telling what it's going to be like if we lose to these Dolphins on Sunday, then followed by the Broncos. So we shall see. I'm so glad we did not make that trade or whatever the case may be. But if you just tuned into the stream, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Appreciate you. Welcome to the stream. Just want to let you all know the Washington Commanders has just signed defensive end, defensive tackle, DeMarcus Walker. We just got a little bit. We just want to let y'all know a little bit about who he is. He's had 26.5 sacks over his tenure, his career so far. Came into the league in 2017. He's 31 years old, yes, but he's 6'4", 280 pounds, a little bit similar to Trick-wise. So he's only on the practice squad right now, but he did travel with the team to Madrid. And speaking of which, yesterday I said Terry McLaurin was not traveling with the team. My apologies for that. He is traveling with the team. I misunderstood. He is traveling with the team. Although he's traveling with the team, he won't be playing. And Deron Payne, his suspension appeal was denied. So it was upheld, should I say. So he won't be down there as well. I think that's why this move was prompted. You know what I'm saying? That they did sign him to the practice squad, and it's a chance that he could be elevated in Madrid if needed. So I think this is gonna be a good thing. But anyway, do we got any more comments? We got any more comments? We're gonna get to it. If not, I'm gonna let y'all go. I just wanted to come on here and give y'all that brief update. I'm trying to get into doing this a little more. Sometimes I wouldn't go live if it's a little small video like this, but hey, man, look, I ain't got nothing going on. I'm about to get up out of here in a second. I just want to get on here and give y'all this breaking news. It ain't much breaking news, but we did make a signing, and I ain't got nothing going on. So if y'all watched that game last night and you just joining, were you a little jealous last night over that defense? I said the Dallas Cowboys. I damn sure was tripping off that because they ain't got no defense. They defense look like ours. But I want to see how they're going to look now with Quentin Williams. That's what I want to see. I want to see how the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to look with Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark. They should be able to stop the run up the gut. But what they're going to do out on the edge? They still need an edge rusher. Now, Donovan Azaraku is looking good with them, and I do like they are in a better situation than we are. But I just want to see how Quentin Williams fares with the Dallas Cowboys. But anyway, last night, if you don't know what to talk about as far as defense, last night the Philadelphia Eagles won 10-7 versus the Green Bay Packers. Don't y'all be pissed off to see everybody else is faring well with the Packers but us? Like when we played them, they looked like the next coming. They looked like they were Super Bowl winners already. We could have crowned them in week 2 to be the Super Bowl champs of 2025. But since then, nah, they look like they could be had. Michael Parsons chasing people down, but it ain't the same. And it's just because, and we had all our people. We had Terry McLaurin. We had Noah Brown. We had Deebo Samuels. That night started a carousel for this team. We lost Deatrick Wise. We lost Austin Eckler. Jaden Daniels got hurt. Noah Brown got hurt. John Bates got hurt. We lost a lot of people in that game, and I think that was the start of a disastrous season. And then what topped it off was the Chicago Bears game. That fumble that Jaden Daniels had, we here. So yeah, but like I was saying, I wish we had a defense like the even the Green Bay Packers or the Philadelphia Eagles, because Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders put up 22 points on Sunday. In most cases, that 22 points, if we put it up on the Packers or the Eagles last night, we win that game. But you know what thing they both got is defense. Defense. Okay? And I understand how aggressive that Howie is. He's aggressive right now because he feel like they're gonna win the Super Bowl. I mean, right now, AP already understand, hey, Super Bowl, it ain't happening right now. So you can't be just going out here signing each and everybody, like going out to Jalen Phillips or whatever the case may be. You're like, certain moves can't be made right now because right now we are in limbo. We ain't in no aggressive state right now. It's time to get ready for the offseason. We need to be getting these mock drafts together, like my boy said. It's time to get these mock drafts together. It's trying to go holler at the scouts. What you got for me? Well, who looking like they're gonna be the next great commander pass rusher, the next great commander wide receiver weapon for Jaden Daniels? That's who we are right now. Howie Roseman making those type of moves he making right now because he knows that their chance to being back-to-back Super Bowl champs is very high. That's why they're making those type of moves. We'll get there one day, y'all. We gotta be patient. We can't cheat the process. Remember, we only in year 2 of this recalibration. And I don't even want to hear the recalibration. We're in year 2 of this rebuild. It is a rebuild. It just haven't seemed that way for the first 2 seasons. But we're in year 2, man. So we got to still build the depth. We only got I think John Conn said we got maybe 30-something people under contract for next year. So they got to sign a lot of people again for the 3rd season because we did a whole lot of 1-year deals. But it's going to be a jam-packed offseason, y'all. We're going to be nonstop because we got a lot of people that we need. We got a lot of holes to fill. We talking about roster and staff. Who will be the next defense coordinator? Because I don't think that Joe Witt is coming back. I don't think that they're going to say, oh, Joe Witt, your job can be had back. No, I don't think so. It was just unfortunate, and he had to go. So it is what it is. Shout out to Ronell Gordon. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Also, Ronell writes, Green Bay could have won, but receiver dropping catches. But guess what? That's a fact. They could have won. They drop passes, right? But here's the thing. I wish we could say that about the Commanders. We could have beat that game if such and such would have dropped that pass on that crucial 4th down. That would have actually put us in field goal position to actually kick a game with a field goal or something like that. We ain't saying none of that. We saying our guys has given up on defense, can't even force a punt. Giving up over 20-something, what was it, 22 points for the last month? Good Lord Almighty. That ain't, our guys could drop a pass, but it won't even matter. They might let them catch it because they know we can't stop them on defense. This is my thing. I'm trying to understand, when is Cliff Kingsbury going to say, you know what? The defense been so trash. Can I put my pride aside and say, the hell with the air game, the hell with the passing attack? Can we get to running the ball, become like the old Redskins and just pound it? Use all 3 of these running backs, put the jumbo package out there, and let's just try to go for it, man. You see what the Eagles doing? They doing tush push their way all the way down the field, which is so weird. Okay, I hope they ban it. But what I'm saying is, you play keep away. We haven't played keep away yet. Keep the ball away from these high power offenses. And if you fall asleep behind the wheel, Jalen Waddle can hit you over the top. Just know that. And everything that comes from Tua, and we'll get more into this as we get to the game of the week, as we get into a deep dive of the matchup or whatever. But Tua is a rhythm thrower because he don't have all the arm power. So everything got to be in rhythm. So it's not like we got to worry about somebody that's going to be scrambling around and then they can hurt us deep by throwing the ball far down the field like some Patrick Mahomes or something like that. No, we ain't got to worry about that. If it ain't happening in the first 3 seconds, trust me, it ain't happening. It's just we ain't got neither one of our starting corners. Well, Mikey Sainristil is there. I'm talking about boundary. With Trey Amos going out for the season and Marshawn Lattimore gone for the season, I don't know who's going to check Jalen Waddle, but we're going to see. And then we ain't even got to get on A-Kane. He is another Jimmy Gibbs. Trust me. So we'll see what's going on. Look at Shannon. Shannon, you show up faithfully, bro. You show up and I'm gonna give you a little shine, bro. Shannon is a Chicago Bear, you all, who loves to show up and hate on the Commanders, but I appreciate him though. You know what I'm saying? But he just be joking because he know that what we did to them last year, he still ain't got over it yet. Even though they could have possibly, finished our season this year. He still ain't had enough. He said, why Commander sign up? The reason why I ain't even got to explain it to you because you ain't even a Commander fan. But what's up with you, bro? Welcome to the stream. We ain't doing nothing but just chit-chatting. Like I just said, to watch the Commander sign. Defensive end, defensive tackle, DeMarcus Walker. He is a guy who's had 14 sacks in the last 3 seasons. That's more than we could say about Deron Payne. Deron Payne had this. When did Deron Payne get paid? Let me see something real quick. Let me see. When the last time Deron Payne got paid? Let me see. Now, I think Deron Payne is much better. I'm not saying that he's better than Deron Payne, but what I'm saying is Deron Payne, yes, like I said, he had 14 sacks the last 3 seasons, which is more than our best defensive tackle, who is Deron Payne. Now, I know you're saying, well, why are you comparing a defensive end to a defensive tackle? I get it. But he pretty much can do both. You know what I'm saying? He played from the inside a lot when he was with the Titans and when he was with the Bears the previous season. But Deron Payne had 4 sacks. We had 9 sacks over the last 3 years. He had 1 this year so far, and he had 4 the prior season. But Deron Payne, right before he got paid, he got the 11.5 sacks, and we ain't heard from him. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think this could be a good thing, bro. Okay. So Shannon say, not hating, just think Commander's ass. Not gonna lie. You ain't the only one that think that. You ain't the only. Hold up. Miss Jackson has spoke. Jaden Dane's mom has spoken. She said, for your info, okay. So Brandon wrote something on. Hold on, let me see. I'm about to pull it up. We're gonna look at this together. Hold up. Let me get to this real quick so we can read this together. Hold up. I just seen it from Miss Jackson. All right. So she's replying to, all right, so the urge right. Also, Jaden showed up. This tough, laugh out loud. I'm not even ready to say nothing. I'm not even ready to say nothing else. So this guy, the urge, is pretty much trying to point out that Jaden Daniels ain't have a really good game. Brandon writes, I love Terry, but the least he could do is still show up and support the team, even from the sidelines. Miss Jackson just wrote, sorry, Miss Jackson. She wrote, FYI, you know he's been at both games, right? When Jaden got hurt, he was in the locker room and he was there at the Lions game. So mama always coming to the fence for Jaden Daniels. Not only is she checking to see who her son trying to date or make sure that she can gate any of those fast little girls, she don't play about her son. She don't play about her son at all. So Mama Jackson just said what she said. Yeah, she said, my son been in these games. Don't play about Jay. She ain't playing about Jay. And I don't play about Jay neither. Jaden been there for the 10 years. We would love to see Terry McLaurin there. But It's no need for Jaden Daniels to go to Madrid. What for what? Because they advertising. They got him on every poster down Madrid because they thought Jaden was going to be healthy and ready to play. Nobody thought these injuries was going to happen to Jaden Daniels this year. So, yeah, I mean, let the man stay home, man. Y'all worry about the wrong stuff. Man. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I'm going to let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. So, if you're new to the channel, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Fuck what, man? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. Turn the bell notifications on. Allow me to keep you in the know with everything Commanders. I appreciate the haters. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the love and everybody who stopped by and listened to my crazy self with my little theories and ideas, whatever the case may be. I appreciate y'all for swinging through and kicking it with your boy. I'm going to let y'all get out of here. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. But before I go, y'all know how I do it. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Let's get it. Long live my brother Rico. I'm catch y'all on the next one.